You're listening to the Cambridge Insider Podcast. On today's episode, hosts Stephen and Mariah discuss what the new U.S. administration is saying about international students in high schools. Today's episode is sponsored by North Yarmouth Academy. North Yarmouth is an independent, co-ed, college preparatory day school serving students from early childhood education to postgraduate, located in Maine. Thanks for listening.
Cambridge Insider Podcast time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cambridge Insider Podcast. Mariah Thompson, how are you?
I'm doing good. We're recording this the day before Valentine's Day, so I'm in my holiday. I love holidays, period. Doesn't matter what one. So just loving this week. Pink and red and white.
Absolutely. We are also recording this 2 weeks. So a couple of things happening in Cambridge that I'd like to quickly highlight. Our team will be traveling down to join the NAIS conference, which is happening in Nashville. So we are looking forward to connecting with a lot of our current partners while we're out there, and hopefully forging some new partnerships and some new relationships. So we're excited about that. If you are listening, our team will be there with a booth. So come and say hi. And something else that I think is important is that we have several groups in the next couple of weeks that will be traveling both to China and to Korea as well, South Korea, on in-person recruitment trips. So those are our CEM partners that'll be going out that way. I want to thank all of our teams that have been just working, late nights to get all this organized, and we just looking forward to another couple of great trips ahead. If you are interested in that, or you want to hear more about what in-person recruitment looks like, drop us a line, reach out, and we can certainly give you that information.
Yes, definitely. It's exciting times around here.
Exactly. So we're going to take just a couple minutes. Mariah and I promised that it would be short and sweet this week, just to talk about, in particular, the new administration as it pertains to, obviously, F1 high school education. We've received, several questions from partners. We've had several discussions about this, and we really we thought it would be a good idea just to, briefly discuss exactly what it means for the industry and where people can get more information, what they could be doing if they have questions, right?
Yeah. Just, we want to be a support and resource to you guys, all things international education. And there have been a lot of topics brought up since Donald Trump has taken office. So we just want to, from our expertise and understanding, be the voice that you come to listen to. So Stephen's been around much longer than me, so he has some great insight on this. But also we just want to say, before we go in, that we are just going to be stating the facts when it comes to international education, F1 visas in high school. Now, if there are things that take place, immigration and visas outside, we are not talking about that. We are just talking about when it comes to F1 visas in high schools and what it does to this market. So we just want to remain sensitive and just to the facts, just because we know it can be a touchy subject for other organizations and what they collaborate with on these policies. So we are just going to be strictly sticking to what we know and what we do. So before we go in, I just wanted to make that clear.
So I think I'm going to kick off by saying the following, and I think this is really, really important to create a little bit of context, is that political backgrounds, geopolitical tensions, different leadership styles, not just in the United States, across the world, have been a constant since international education started. And in particular, if we think about the United States, which pertains to our discussion, and the last 20 years of international education, if we can use that as a time frame, there have always been different leaderships, different points of view, different statements made, different geopolitical tensions and issues. So what we're seeing in terms of a new administration having a certain point of view on international education, on immigration, is nothing new. It's just a different point of view. So I think that's important to remember. I think people have heard some of what the new administration have said, and there's certainly been a lot of panic is what we've seen from our partners, and we want to avoid that. We want to make sure that they don't panic, that we can make these sort of unemotional decisions based on what the facts are. So that's important. This industry has thrived. The only thing that got close to stopping this industry was the COVID pandemic. So I say that with a wry smile, not because of the pandemic, which was incredibly serious, but and I said tried to stop or came close to stopping. But even during the pandemic, we still had a ton of students who were engaged in international education, either that were already or that were doing online. Recruitment carried on. Marketing switched to a digital world. So that was as close as we've come to this entire industry coming to a halt. So let's bear that in mind, and let's not make quick emotional decisions on something that is vitally important to our schools, to their communities, but something that is even more important to the students that are getting the opportunity to come here. And I think all of us in the industry are really focused on those two things. How can we improve our communities? How can we improve our schools and how our campuses look and how they feel and the information that we have there, which is so rich and is so awesome to see. But also, how can we continue to give great opportunities to great students that will end up becoming the next wave of entrepreneurs, business leaders, politicians maybe one day. So that's the first thing that I want to say. The second thing that I think is really, really important that we've heard, or the two things that are really important, is we haven't heard any specifics on the F1 high school visa program. There has been nothing released from the administration about the F1 high school program. What we have heard about the F1 high school program, or something that pertains to it, is that, number one, there's going to be a big focus on skilled immigration and skilled labor, right? So that bodes well for the industry, because typically, if you look at the context as a whole, students that are coming on F1 visa as high school students are students that end up becoming skilled immigration as part of a skilled immigration that comes to the United States. So that's important to remember. The H-1B visa, which goes with the skilled immigration, has also been, prompted quite highly, and has also been a big focus point of the administration, which again bodes really well for the F1 visa component of this, because those are typically students that graduate and end up getting H-1B visas. Not all of them, but lots of them end up applying for and getting H-1B visas and taking up great positions at companies, adding to the skilled labor, becoming entrepreneurs, becoming specialists in certain fields. So if we just look at those facts of things that have been said by the new administration, the F1 high school program, it bodes well for the F1 high school program. Do we know everything? Absolutely not. But I think it's important for us right now, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to sort of give your thoughts, Mariah, as well. I think it's important for us to look at what has been said, where we've come from the last 20 years, and then to make decisions based on that. I've had a ton of schools that have made very quick decisions in the first week of the administration that I think have already put them on the back foot. And these are promising programs that have done really, really good work that have now suddenly shut down their international programs, or are no longer interested in doing any market in their international programs. And I think that has a negative effect, of course, on the students that potentially would want to go there, but I think on those schools and those school programs as well.
Yeah, and I just want to add on to, when we're talking about those two categories, for the visas, for which are for post graduation, right? And so it's what allows a student to stay when they're entering the work field. Those types of jobs and programs, mathematics, STEM fields, all that. For the most part, when we're talking to partner schools and K through 12 schools that we partner with, this is a big focus of themselves as well. They're the ones that are also promoting these programs in their schools. So for the most part of what we're seeing being aligned together are things that our schools are also aligning in their own curriculum. So, of course, now if you're a different type of school that you might be thinking, oh, well, we don't have a STEM program. We don't have this. For other reasons, you should be thinking about having those in your school, not just because of this. Students wanted that before the administration came. So we just wanted to highlight that just so you can see that these are aligned for this specific outlook. These are aligned to what we're already seeing in our schools and what the outcomes are for students. So it's not really anything different. Before, we just have someone speaking on it louder now. And so I just want to reiterate what Stephen is saying. It's not the time to make a decision to back out. It's just time to make the decision to keep going forward. And at any point where you think we should pivot and change anything, we will, especially to our partner schools, make it known. The same thing happened to us in COVID. We saw that there was change happening, so we pivoted to digital, and we're seeing the good outcome from our pivot. So just for those who are partnered with us, just keep trusting us, and we will keep the international programs going as long as we can.
Absolutely. I did also want to add that I think if you're waiting for the perfect political background in order to invest in and move forward with an international program, you're probably going to be waiting for a very long time.
Yeah.
So that's just what we've seen. Our data, and we have a town hall coming up in the next week where we look at our quarterly data. Our data in terms of enrollments, new student enrollments, re-enrollments is better today than it was a year ago, is better today than it was 2 years ago. Despite the fact that we have an administration that a lot of our partners are saying this is not conducive to international programs, and having an international program, our data shows the complete opposite picture. So again, let's talk facts. Let's think about the numbers. We're seeing great interest. We're seeing partners that are engaged, getting great response from the market. Many, if not all of our agency partners are excited about continuing to engage with US schools and send quality students this way. Mariah, final thoughts. I think we've summarized what we wanted to say pretty well, but any final thoughts from your side?
Yeah, just one thing. I just wanted to remind our partners and those listening the mission of Cambridge Network, which is enhancing global harmony through education. That's what we stand by. That's what we're trying to do. And we just thank all of our partners and listeners for inviting us into that process in their schools, our hosts into their homes, because we do believe that through education, we can see a world look more harmonic. And so we just wanted to emphasize that before we head off.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thank you, as always, to all of our listeners for tuning in to the Cambridge Insider podcast. Remember to like, listen, subscribe, and we'll catch you around the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Cambridge Insider podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode. For more Cambridge updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Have a great week and stay connected.